Ladies and gentlemen, not doing a review today. I'll review this later. It's a swim watch I got for when I take my girls swimming, diving, going to the ocean, going to the pool. This is a Citizen ProMaster Diver 0175 Combat Black. Look at that. Usually these go for about $3.90. A seller had it. He just had one. He had it for $2.89. And I was thinking, gosh dang, man, $2.89, I'm buying that bad boy. And I did, and I bought it. And you know what? I had a similar model a couple years ago, the 0176, which is stainless. And I remember the rubber bracelet was a little problematic, and this one's not. It seems like they listened to the consumer complaints about that, and they fixed it up. So that was a good deal to get, and I'll just keep the cyan blue for you to see while I talk today. I want you to see the light, the beautiful light of it. So I have a couple questions for you. How do you enjoy your watch hobby? Is it a source of enjoyment for you? Is it a source of anxiety for you? Misery, happiness, all of the above? I can only tell you, for me, it's all of it, and it almost feels like it's not really a choice I make. It's how I'm hardwired. I'm kind of hardwired this way. I've talked to people and who are similar to me, and I could just stare at watches all day long. Who knows what kind of hardwiring I have? It's kind of scary. And the second question I have for you is, where do you think you would be with your watch hobby if it weren't for the internet? Just think about that. I was blown away by that question this morning. I mean, the internet, man. I mean, we're meeting fellow watch hobbyists on the internet. We're buying watches on the internet. We're learning about future releases of watches on the internet. I recently pre-ordered a Seiko Orange Monster, Sunburst Orange, on the internet. Kind of anxious about it too. I don't know. I didn't understand it was over in Japan. I didn't understand the language wasn't translated very well. Well, anyways, we'll see how that goes. A fellow watch hobbyist, he's purchased from this website before, and he had no problem, so I should be okay. But I just wanted to know what you think about that. Where do you think you'd be if it wasn't for the internet? I think the internet, it's hard to fathom. It's really hard to measure what the internet does to our watch hobby. And I don't even know where we would be. I mean, maybe the internet just is like throwing gasoline on a personality that's already inclined to be obsessed about watches. So for some of you who are new to my YouTube channel, I do talk about watch addiction sometimes. And these questions may be familiar for some of you, but I consolidated all of them. This would be a questionnaire. 15 questions to determine if you need watch rehab. Do you need watch rehab? That would be crazy. The first question is, do you find yourself thinking about watches first thing when you wake up in the morning, last thing when you're in bed at night, and it's reached the point that you'd like to start thinking about something else? You kind of resent the amount of time, money, and energy your watch addiction has taken from your life. Is that an issue for you? Number 2, do you keep a list? Do you keep a list of your watches and assign days for which watches you will wear during the week? And you hope that if you adhere to this rotation, your life will feel more manageable and less chaotic. Number 3, do you agonize? I mean agonize over which watch you're going to wear during the day, and regardless of your choice, you feel the agony of having picked the wrong watch. You're not wearing the right watch. You blew it. Number 4, do you find you've amassed more watches than you have the time or occasion to wear, and fret that you're constantly neglecting prized watches in your collection? Huh? What do you think of that? Number 5, do you find yourself falling in love with a watch, buying that watch, falling out of love with it, selling it, regretting selling it, falling in love with it again, rebuying it, falling out of love, repeating the cycle over and over again. So you end up feeling like a character out of the movie Groundhog Day. Over and over again. Number 6, do you find yourself possessed with the urge to shrink your collection to a small, manageable collection? And you work your butt off to get your collection down. And you do. And then your collection mushrooms back up again. It mushrooms right back to a big, unmanageable size again. And then you shrink it again, and then it mushrooms again. And you go through this cycle over and over and over, like a character out of Groundhog Day. Number 7, do you tell yourself, just one more watch and the madness will finally be over? I found that watch, son. I found it. And you get the watch, and guess what, buddy? You're stuck in the cesspool of desire and discontent. Ooh, that hurts. Number 8, do you go on the internet and do you observe YouTubers engaging in ceremonious, glorious unboxings of their holy grail timepieces? And as you watch them enjoy their new watch, you're overcome with envy and anxiety, and you got to get on the watch buying bandwagon too, man. You're missing out. You're missing out. Get it. Get it now. All right, number 9. Deep down, do you have the conviction that you're really miserable with your watch collecting? And here's what you really got to do. You got to sell all your watches. Just keep one. Just one. Could be your Seiko Monster. Could even be a cheap $80 Casio. Could even be a cheap $50 Timex. And deep down, you'd know you'd be happier. You'd be less tormented. You'd have room in your brain to do some new things with your life. But nope, you refuse to do it. Because you know why? Because you choose to be a slave to your watch addiction. Number 10. Do you fear that if you were liberated from your watch addiction, you'd have to face a new crisis? The abyss of an empty life and the loneliness that such an empty life entails. Number 11. Do you fear that your watch addiction is a distraction from personal problems you find too overwhelming to address? And you'd rather slog through your watch addiction with all of its aforementioned repetitive cycles than confront deeper emotional problems? Number 13. Do you get defensive when people say you have a watch problem? You find yourself rationalizing, saying, hey man, it's just a hobby. I could be doing far worse things, man. You seen some of the self-destructive hobbies out there? I'm just a watch dude, no biggie. But deep down, you know, they have a good point. Number 13. Do you find that your watch hobby was supposed to make you happy? But guess what? The obsession took you to a dark place. A dark place you never anticipated. And this place you're in, man, has nothing to do with the happiness you were initially seeking. No. Number 14. Do you find yourself asking advice from other watch addicts about which watches to buy? And you experience the shame of having no deep personal convictions, so that you're dependent on others for your life choices and for validation? And number 15, do you find yourself trying to hide your watch obsession from your significant other? Worried that she'll become suspicious of all the FedEx packages that are arriving at your doorstep, and perhaps she will engage in a forensics accounting investigation of your watch buying habits, and she will expose you as being recklessly wasteful with your finances and committing the sin of adulterous consumerism, financial infidelity. Ooh, that hurts, my man. Don't, please stop. Oh, there you go, man. So tell me what you think, man. If you answered yes to 10 of those 15, you might need some sort of rehabilitation. You might need some sort of an intervention. We could all meet up in the forest. We could all go to Big Sur, Nepenthe, and we'd all take our watches off, put them in a giant safe, and we'd all meditate. And no, what a mood! Hey, man, are you ready for the screenplay, man? It's going to be crazy. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying your watch hobby. Sometimes I find I need to laugh at myself and try to get some perspective on the situation. Let me know what you think, man. I hope you're happy with your hobby. I hope you're not letting your obsession get the best of you. And I'd be curious to know, tell me what you think, man. Where would you be with your watch collecting hobby if it wasn't for the internet, man? Going on YouTube channels like this, man. Let me know. All right, until next time, I'm out.